The canceled podcast is officially over. Brooke and Tana uploaded the last episode, and a lot was revealed within these 3.5 hours. From how the show affected their relationship, the drama they regret and don't regret, and where they're going from here. It's a mess, so let's get into it. If you guys have been avid canceled viewers, you would know, give or take a few missed episodes here and there, Brooke and Tana normally upload once a week, or at least every other week. We all knew the final episode was coming, but Brooke and Tana broke their normal upload schedule and had about a month gap before they released the last episode. Everyone was wondering what was going on until Brooke commented on Spill Sesh's TikTok and was like, "It's coming today," which was yesterday, and it finally did. The episode is their longest ever, clocking in at over 3 hours long, and I'm going to break down all the main takeaways that I got from it. Before we get into the episode, I want to talk about some drama that happened before the episode was even released. Over the weekend, it was Brooke's engagement party. When I first saw the pictures, I thought it was the actual wedding, but it turns out it was the engagement party, and people were quick to notice someone was missing from attendance. Tana Mojo was nowhere to be seen and was actually posting stories of herself in Hawaii, so obviously not at Brooke's party. Brooke's friend BB also didn't go, and a lot of canceled fans felt sad for Brooke. BB and her have always been super close. It seemed like maybe they might have made up at Tana's Tarte launch party, but I guess not. Now there was no BB and also no Tana. When fans noticed that Tana wasn't there, speculation started going rampant because, as you guys know, the big conspiracy is that Tana and Brooke don't like each other. Fans just couldn't wrap their minds around why Tana and Brooke would walk away from a podcast that was still pulling in millions of views weekly, probably making them really good money and sponsorships, where they just have to sit down once a week and talk. Obviously, there's bigger factors here, like them having to talk about their personal lives, the Reddit hate, and the drama that it got them into, but it was still doable. Their diehard fans were like, "You guys don't have to talk about the drama. We just want to hear you guys talk about your lives and your friendship," but they still chose to call it quits. It's also been no secret that Tana was more so the one that wanted to end the show compared to Brooke. Brooke was hesitant about ending it, whereas Tana was ready to move on. She has a podcast with Trisha. Trisha's had this massive redemption arc that Tana's now following in the footsteps of, and Brooke still gets a lot of hate. Tana and Trish are talking about going on tour.
Love it. Yes, I think variety show. I think we do talking, we do tap dancing, we do singing, we do all of it.
And
rapping.
we would have so much fun. Like
so much fun.
That's where it is. Like we've been talking about this. We would definitely start with like a show or a couple, like one or two or something like that, and
to see,
or manifesting Madison Square Garden in the forum. But listen, we would be equally as happy to do the Beacon and the Fonda. You know what I mean? Like,
it's clear Tana has her sights set on bigger and better things in the future, and Brooke wasn't a part of those plans. So when fans saw that Tana wasn't at the engagement party, they were like, "Oh, they definitely aren't as close as we thought. Something definitely happened." Well, Spill Sesh made a TikTok about the fan speculation, and Tana actually commented on it and gave her reasonings for why she couldn't make it. She wrote, "Construction on my place got moved. Out of my control, I quite literally begged and pleaded and sobbed. I knew the internet was going to do this all week, and I refused to engage with that. No pun intended. I am very happy for her and will be making it up." Tana did just buy a house in Hawaii, so I guess she's doing renovations and had to be there for them. Some fans didn't buy her excuse though, with one writing, "Girl, are you there holding the hammer yourself or something? What does that have anything to do with it?" And another person wrote, "Love you dearly, but how would that stop you from going?" I mean, it is really unfortunate. I can't even imagine my best friend not being able to come to my engagement party because of construction. Some things are out of your control, but it's definitely a very sad situation. Tana did post about Brooke's engagement party on her story though, and wrote, "Posting like I was there. Genuinely moved that my girl has transitioned from 50-part series to riding Baldy off into the sunset. I love you, Brooke Schofield and Miles. My parents for real," and then she posted this picture of them at their engagement party, which Brooke did reply to, and she just said, "Ha ha ha ha," which felt a little bit shady, but she later clarified in the comments on a TikTok that she understood why Tana couldn't come. Someone wrote, "No Paige, Tana, or BB, I feel so bad for her," and Brooke commented back and said, "Paigey came. Tana had a very, very fair and reasonable reason to miss. I had the best night ever and felt so loved and supported. No drama." Another thing I noticed was no Trisha Paytas. Trisha used to be absolutely obsessed with Brooke. She always had her on Just Trish. They seem like really good friends. But ever since Brooke's cancellation, Trisha has definitely distanced herself from her, which I guess carried through to her engagement party. Let's move on to the final episode of Cancelled. I think going into this episode, everyone knew it was going to be an emotional one, and that's exactly what it was, especially for Brooke. Right away, Brooke couldn't hold back tears, thinking about this being the last time they do this together.
Anyone have tissues? I'm already crying. Sorry, I swear, I'll just get
No,
it out
Brooke,
of the way.
me too.
Tana said there were times during Cancelled where all she could think about was the podcast ending. She was over it. It sounds like there were times where they weren't getting along, and Tana really looked forward to the day where they would sit down and record the last episode. Now that the day is here, she said she's sad and looks back at the podcast and sees how much they grew together.
There have definitely been points of my life in the last year and a half where I begged God for this day. Where all I wanted, it's all I could think about. There was a point in my life where this was consuming me, this coming to an end because of the things that I felt like it was negatively doing. And I was so convinced that on this day, I would show up and pop a bottle and a firecracker and fireworks. And I'd be like, finally, today has come. And I could not feel more different than that. I wish I could go tell that girl that you're not going to feel like that at all.
Tana and Brooke also discussed how ending the podcast has improved their friendship. They said things went back to how they were before, they're calling each other and actually enjoying being friends, compared to their relationship being strictly about the podcast and the burden that weight held over them all these years.
How immediately you and I have reverted back to how we once were.
It's almost, it didn't even have to truly end for us to feel the relief of it. I almost feel like.
And we're calling each other and we're having these 5-hour calls and you're touring houses and we're going together and we're skipping around and we're
I think we've spoken more in the past 2 weeks than we have in the last 2 years.
Because it doesn't feel like we have to call each other and work out 90 million business things. We get to just be ourselves again. Leaving this podcast today feels like leaving the casino when you're up.
Everyone who watched Cancelled could tell that there's been a major strain there for a while. Ever since Brooke cancellation, things didn't feel the same. You could tell there was some animosity between them, the episodes weren't flowing like they used to, they didn't seem as close as they once were. I guess things are changing now because Brooke revealed that she officially bought a house and it's next to Tana.
Even when it's for a good thing, I'm thinking about this too because, wait, I have a surprise. I got my house.
Why would you tell me when I'm in this room? Congratulations.
I don't even want to know.
Oh my God. Congratulations.
We're now neighbors.
Yes, we're in oh my God. And how cool is that too? Again, just against all odds that we're touring these houses and we're I hope you get this one so we can live by each other and we can hang out. I just want to tell Jorts Gate girls.
Which I feel just goes to show the ending of this podcast has been really good for their personal relationship. If Brooke had just bought a house next to Tana mid-cancelled, it probably would have felt like bringing work home with you. It would have felt like a burden, but now they're actually enjoying each other's company so much that they want to live next door to each other. If Brooke and Tana weren't friends like the internet's been saying, I don't feel like Brooke would want to live next door to her. Brooke also admitted that the ending of Cancelled felt like a bigger deal to her than to Tana, but now that it's here, she knows that it was the right decision.
I feel like having a harder time with it than you were a little bit because it I felt good about it. It was I wanted it. And then when it came, I was oh no.
100%.
And now I have this big thing that it's made me excited now again.
Yeah.
And
it's just
the future.
I agree.
A big point of contention with the podcast was how much drama talking about other people was causing them. Whenever they would talk about someone, the person would usually respond. There'd be this big back and forth. The fans would go after said person. It got messy a few times there, and they said they're looking forward to no longer having to talk about people.
And I am so excited to not have to talk about other people.
Me too. That's my biggest thing. I can't wait.
I went on...
Except for when something horrible happens, in which case I will be talking shit about people.
I think there really is something to be said about not mixing friendship and business, and Tana and Brooke talked more about that. They said there was a point where they hated each other.
It was hard.
Yes.
Wasn't easy. And sometimes, honestly, sometimes when people are they hate each other, I'm They're right.
We might have in that week. And then that was the thing too. It was just such an emotional roller coaster because we'd have the worst week and then we'd have the best week. We don't talk about that too, like the internal, like sometimes that is what we mean as well when we say, like, it's not like Brooke and I were just like, I hate you as a person, I hate you as a person fighting. It would just be like tense like.
Tana and Brooke also talked about some of their controversies, one of them being Brooke's relationship with her now fiance, Miles. Brooke got a lot of backlash over that because people believe he once had a relationship with a model who was underage. Reddit did some digging. They found screenshots that made it seem like Miles was involved with someone underage.
Brooke Schofield seems to be in the middle of yet another controversy because her new boyfriend allegedly dated a 15-year-old when he was 27, and it looks like Brooke is now defending him. So Brooke announced back in October that she was dating Miles McFly, and people on Reddit have now spilled that back in 2015, when Miles was around 27, he started dating a model named Isabella who was just 15. And there are a ton of receipts, like this picture of the two of them looking pretty cozy together, screenshots of the two of them commenting back on each other's posts, like Miles had commented on this picture Isabella posted, and Isabella tagged Miles with a heart. And in addition to all of this, there's this post that Miles made back in 2015 from an old account, sharing that Isabella is not only one of his best friends, but also his girlfriend, and that the two of them are celebrating their 5-month anniversary. Now Brooke is claiming that this whole thing is fake news, not only in her comment section, but in her DMs too.
But both Brooke and Tana are saying it's completely untrue. Tana said she did her own research into it and claims none of the allegations have any validity to them, and if they did, she wouldn't be supporting Brooke marrying him.
I know the truth and the backstory of that whole situation. I've seen it all with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Which is why even when I get comments, oh my God, you're an apologist and you're this and you're that, I would never, ever, ever allow you or stand by you if I thought you were marrying a person like that or an evil person.
I also just never would.
They also did this segment where they showed different people's names that they've talked about on the podcast and say whether or not they're sorry for talking about them or still stand by what they said. And the most interesting one was Alyssa Violet. Tana and Brooke said Alyssa was the meanest girl in LA. There was this whole drama there. Alyssa got a ton of backlash. There was a bunch of back and forth between them. Alyssa called out Tana for making fun of Jason Nash begging on TikTok. It was a mess. Alyssa recently went on a Netflix show called Sidemen Inside, and she was asked who the meanest girl in LA was, and she flipped the script and said it was actually Tana who's the meanest girl in LA.
Meanest girl in LA? Oh, can I just say me? I'm a bitch. It's me. I'm fine. Dude, Tana Mojo. Shot fired. No, she I just don't like her podcast, and she's just mean, and she makes up things. It sucks.
And even though this canceled episode was pre-recorded, so I'm sure Tana and Brooke didn't see this clip yet, they both still said they don't regret that feud.
Alyssa Violet feud.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry in the slightest. I stand on everything I said, and I think that her making that TikTok, laughing in that drive-through and all of that, and shaming me for OF and all of those things were diabolical.
I think I might feel sorry about
and
it.
Do think that I had so many experiences and heard about everything I said was true. Everything I said was true about her demeanor and whatnot, but it did in the end teach me a lot about the weight of the platform.
Another one Tana didn't regret was calling out Zach Sang. She said that she knows a lot of stuff about him that's very shady, so even though maybe he didn't deserve the backlash he got off the Clinton Kane stuff, she called it karma. And they also talked about the wine tour. The wine tour drama is something I think about all the time. After I did my video on it a few years ago, the tour guide actually reached out to me and she was so sweet. She's not involved in the internet world like that. She was completely thrown into everything when Tana pretty much doxed her. And I have stood by the fact that Tana was wrong in that situation, no matter how you look at it. You don't go to another country, sign up for a wine tour, then act like a brat and ruin everyone's time because you chose to drink and not sleep the night before. The wine tour lady was just doing what she was paid to do, and Tana had no regard for that. Tana lost her Babbel sponsorship over that story time, and looking back now, she says that she is sorry for that whole situation and realizes she was wrong.
I am also sorry. It was the worst day of my life, but I am so sorry for omitting details about that person. I should have never done that.
No, you
Sorry.
should have omitted details, but instead you
Or
gave
not
first,
omitting.
last.
That's not the word I meant. I am so sorry for sharing details about that person and the scenario. And
Brooke and Tana also played a game.
Least favorite guest.
Fuck.
And Tana said Ashley for Brooke, and Brooke said Matt Rife for Tana.
Good job.
We got both of those right.
It was just a joke, but
No, and you guys have. I am Switzerland.
And apparently Brooke and Ashley are still on bad terms. Brooke talked more about that on this episode, and she said Ashley has her blocked and they just don't get along with each other. It's not like anything bad happened, but they just never meshed well with each other.
You and Ashley may have an irreparable dynamic. You know, like you guys may never be friends.
I think she put it better than that. I think it's not like irreparable because it's like not something that was like broken that needed to be repaired. We just like literally were never close. It's up in the air why she blocked me, but that doesn't matter.
Ashley actually made Tana this Guess Who game, and she made Brooke's head really big on the board, and everyone thought it was so shady. But Brooke did say she found it funny, she wasn't mad at it, and said she would have done the same thing.
Also, I want to go on record and say that photo that she used of me in the Guess Who game is hilarious and I loved it. I'm not even being funny. Like I saw it and I was like, wait, that's hilarious.
And
I would have done it if full transparency, if the roles were reversed, she would have had a bigger head than that.
The episode came to a close with Tana giving Brooke a gift. She got her a book filled with all these memories from their tour together and a Christmas ornament that said Pool Boy on it, and Brooke broke out into tears.
It says, press for Pool Boy.
And of course, in true canceled fashion, they had to end it on a bit of a shady note by calling out Morphe. Tana said that she was using the one size setting spray and that's why her makeup wasn't running, whereas Brooke was using Morphe setting spray and clearly it wasn't working out too well.
Because, like, I cried too, like, so much.
Where?
I set for crying, though.
I set.
You
I set.
didn't set shit, bitch.
I set. And that's Morphe setting spray.
Yeah, shit's ass.
I'm totally kidding. 40% off of a DoorDash order? She gave me 40% off of a DoorDash.
So that's the end of Canceled, but hopefully not the end of Brooke and Tana's friendship. Like I said, I think we could all tell they weren't as close as they once were during the height of Canceled. You could tell there was major tension there. But after watching this whole entire episode, it does seem like their friendship is finally on the right track. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. Are you sad about Canceled ending? Do you think Brooke will go on to do her own podcast? Do you think it will be as big as Canceled? Or do you think they'll maybe end up regretting it and eventually come back together? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.